Hey YouTube, OPV, Old Proud Veteran here again. Wanted to do a video uh, after the one that I put up on the movie Right at Your Door. If you haven't watched it, go to Netflix and go and watch it. It's not a real bad movie. It's a low grade movie, but it's got its moments. But it'll make you think. Basically, it's about dirty bombs that go off in the Los Angeles area, and this couple uh, basically trying to survive and get back to each other. Um, but it's pretty alarming what's in it. So take a look at that. But after that video, I did a little bit of thinking and a little bit of research on my own, uh, just for my curiosity, and things I found, which uh, basically is not unknown to most people that are preparing or preppers or survivalists or um, just using their heads. Uh, but most citizens, American citizens, are blinded to the things that go on here and in other countries, other cities. They don't put two and two together. And if they do, they don't come up with four. They come up with some weird number. Um, but for the common person, they just go about their everyday lives. They're blinded. They have the horse blinders on. Can't see, don't want to see, don't want to know. Um, they just worry about, well, what are we gonna have for dinner? I got to get here. I got to get to this appointment. What are we gonna watch on TV? Oh, we got to have this party. Or we got to go over to these friends. Or we got to go there. Um, but they're never thinking for themselves. What if? You know, Even if they watch a movie like this or some of the other ones, uh, they never stop and go, "Huh? What if?" It's just a movie. We'll go about our business. Uh, here in America, we've had several terrorist attacks over several years, um, and things are only going to get worse. It's not going to stop and just go away. Look at Ukraine right now. Look at other countries. Constant battles, constant fighting, constant riots, uprisings. It's just going to get worse as the dark days keep getting darker. Governments don't care. Uh, the people are fighting between themselves. They're fighting between other organizations. They're fighting the police. They're fighting the government. And it's just going to continue to be crazy. But what if, you know, um, dirty bombs basically is what I wanted to do the movie on. What if? Are you ready? Um, you know, could it happen? Yeah, it could happen. Uh, Most of the terrorist attacks we've had, have been by explosives. Uh, and the damage by explosives are the planes, but basically all the damage was done by explosives, blowing up buildings, parking garages, um, car bombs, stuff like that. Um, but what if one of the terrorists decide, or one of the crazy people decide that, you know, yeah, they're going to use explosives, but they want more damage than that. They want to make it worse. They want to make it harder uh, to contain. Excuse me. But dirty bombs. Basically, all that is an explosive that has some kind of um, agent that's going to be released from the explosion, as well as the explosive damage, some kind of chemical or radioactive fallout that's going to be released into the air, in the environment. So that's basically what a dirty bomb is. It can be made really out of anything that they want to use. But I did some research and looking around. Highly radioactive waste, which include solid radiated nuclear fuel assemblies, which is spent fuel, used fuel from the commercial nuclear power plants, and any liquid high-level radioactive waste. These are stored in 55-gallon drums or tankers or tank cars, or uh, buried in lead or concrete vaults. They're stored underground. They're stored in buildings. They're stored in containment pools. Just look it up. Look at some of the pictures. It'll amaze you uh, of the mass majority of the highly radioactive material waste we have in this country. And it's not controlled by the government. It's controlled by the private companies that run the nuclear power plants. A lot of the waste is stored at the nuclear power plant facility or very close to it. Some are not. Some like out in Arizona or out in the middle of dry lake beds, and buried. And there's pictures of it. Um, it's it opens your eyes up. Even after decades of radioactive decay, um, even a few minutes exposed to this high level radioactive waste, which most of it is not very high level. That's usually controlled better. Uh, but you're looking at lethal doses in minutes from some of the spent fuel. And it just makes you think. I mean, it takes thousands and thousands and thousands of years for this stuff to go away. A lot of the waste liquid products are stored in 55-gallon drums. And this has been from back in the 40s up to current. And a lot of these drums have leaked. And a lot of these areas are, you know, just highly radioactive underneath the ground. In New Mexico, there's a very large dry ocean bed, salt bed, where they use for storage. And I mean, hundreds of thousands of barrels are buried out there on top of each other. And storage tanks and stuff are buried out there. A lot of it is shipped by railway cars or tractor trailers. They just have a small placard on there and it says caution radioactive waste with the radiation sign on it. Most people ain't pay attention to it. Go right through your town on a rail car or a tractor trailer and never pay attention to it. A standard 53-foot trailer for a tractor trailer will hold 60 to 65 55-gallon drums. You're looking at over 3,000 gallons of liquid that could be put in that truck. One of the most hazardous containment sites is a Hanford nuclear reservation, and the containers are already past their 20-year lifespan, and they are leaking. There was a tank that leaked there, and they pumped most of it out, except for the gooey, soupy sludge at the bottom. They couldn't get out, so it's just there leaking. The tanks were built between 1943 and 1944. And they hold 447,000 gallons of highly radioactive slurry, or nuclear soup. And one of those big tanks is a known leaker since 1979. Like I said, they pumped most of it out, but there's still a lot that they couldn't get out. What if a terrorist group or a crazy person or whoever decided they wanted to go to one of these sites, take the chance, or they don't care if they die, or they put on chem suits and have the little radiography meter that they use to see how many rads you're getting in rams and stuff, and they dug up some of this stuff. Or what if they just decided to go to one of these big storage buildings, looks just like a warehouse, and there's hundreds of thousands of 55-gallon drums in there, and they decide they're just going to blow that and bring in explosives. It's not guarded by the government. There's no black uniform people walking around with face shields on and M16 automatic rifles. They may have a few security cameras. They have a guard that'll go around every now and then and check on them. They're not protected because the nuclear fuel cannot be used to make bombs. It's not of that grade. But that waste, if it was let out in the environment, if there was a big explosion, and they use chemicals that'll burn for a long time and create a lot of airborne smoke, then that chemicals from the nuclear storage facility are going to be going there. They're going to be airborne. So you got the contamination factor from that. What if they decided to dig some of them up, put them in the 55-gallon drums where they are, and put those drums in a tanker or on a tractor trailer, drive it down into the middle of a big city, park it next to a big event, something, and explode it. People don't think about that. Biological hazard in this country. It's picked up by a third-party company, and transported to waste disposal sites throughout the United States. They either incinerate it or they bury it. And they're all private contractors. They pick up from the labs, hospitals, government facilities, and it's any kind of biological waste. It could be chemical strains. It could be biological deadly agents, human body parts. It could be anything. All that stuff would still be toxic. as it decays. Chlorine and ammonia. You mix those, and it causes a gas, which is chlorine gas, which is highly deadly. And some gas masks won't block out the chlorine gas. The good military types will, but just those little hospital cloth masks, they're not going to. It's not going to block it out. You're still going to get that burning and that smell into your body, and you're going to want to rip the mask off, and the chemicals will be getting in. Burns out the lungs, the throat, the eyes, skin burns. It's a vapor. What if terrorists decided to get 55-gallon drums of chlorine and ammonia, put it in a truck, do the same thing, and explode it? You got a dirty bomb. There's a lot of ways that they could do it. The chemical waste, like the biological waste, is picked up by third-party companies. It's tracked and monitored, but once it's stored, they don't care. Biggest area to attack any kind of population in the city is the water treatment plants. How many times have you seen armed guards walking all around there? You don't. And they are highly susceptible. The biggest thing to them is cyber attacks, because all those chemicals they put in to purify the water and clean the water, and the fluoride and stuff like that to make it drinkable, is all controlled by computers. And the wrong amounts put in there can make that water deadly. They put too much chlorine in it or too much other chemicals, they can make it deadly. You're looking at a big city, you're affecting 900,000 people from just one or two water treatment plants. So that's an easy way to attack some, city or people. Plus, once the water is processed, it's, just doesn't go through and right into the pipes and out. It goes into storage holding tanks, reservoirs, and that's where it's pumped out from. They're not guarded. What if they dump chemicals into the reservoir? Dump several 55-gallon drums of chemicals, toxic chemicals, into the water. You're not going to know it until it's too late. Even if you're on well water. What if, a lot of areas have well water? What if the watershed gets contaminated because of all these chemicals? There's a lot of things that people don't realize that's out there. And even they just wanted to hit a small group. Just your standard antifreeze, ethanol glycol. Mix that in with water, and it's deadly. But I wanted to do a short little video. I won't talk for too long, but just something to think about, some food for thought. Everybody want to hear terrorist attacks or think of terrorist attacks. You think of they're going to blow up a car, they're going to blow up a building, they're going to blow up a garage, they're going to blow up a mall. Well, yeah, they could do that, but what if they also had a dirty bomb in the middle of it? How many more people that are wounded and may have been saved, but they're wounded and can't go anywhere, and they get hit with the chemicals and they're breathing that in and they die. Just think about it. Look around your city and your area. Sporting events, major sporting events. How many people cram into them stadiums? 50, 100,000 people? That's a pretty good damage spot right there. Hospitals, they're open targets. Schools, daycare centers, big work complexes. There's a lot that people just take for granted. So just a little thought, things I was looking at and after that movie and we're thinking about, and to realize what's available and what they could actually use that's here that we consider waste and never think about. What could be used against us. So just some food for thought. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. I appreciate you watching. This is Old Proud Veteran, OPV out. And if you see a veteran, as always, give them a shout out. Take care, stay safe, and prepare. Thanks.